People talk about agentic AI. I mostly buy into the hype. I think that this idea of having essentially things and programs that are basically people that are really smart and capable and have access to powerful tools who can go off and do work for you is amazing. But it's not super mysterious, right? So I think the pattern you saw was I'm going to tell you what you're an expert in. I'm going to give you some instructions. You're going to get some input. Here's what I would like you to do with that input. And then what I'll do is I'll give you an output schema, right? I'll say, all right, after you're done with the inputs, here's what I would like you to output. And it should sort of be in this structure. And we just did that like boom, 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 boom down the line. So it's actually it's sort of easier than you might think it is. Now, there are lots of emerging low code options. So this was actually sort of a no code thing. We never wrote code and it did this sort of useful thing. There are low code options where you might need to kind of dig in and write a little bit of code. If you're interested, there is a platform called Diffy, Dify, that if you're looking for a good kind of no code, low code, and you just want to play around with the ideas and you sort of don't want to be writing code, you can go to Diffy and the install, you can pay money and run it on the web. If you want to host it locally, that's free, but it requires a little bit more expertise. You have to run in a Docker container. I will say though that of necessity, because I'm trying to make it trivial for you to build these things and sort of not dig into code, the functionality is going to be a little bit limited. So they're a little restrictive, and eventually you might need to go to code. And then I would say that like this exercise is wonderful because I don't know, you could be like a chief product officer or something at a company, and or somebody who's sort of like you're technical but you don't write a lot of code, or maybe you're just a solopreneur and you've got an idea and you want to test it out. These things are amazing for just going, oh, like this is how it works and this is sort of what the flow would look like. But I think moving these things to deployment is actually, still relatively challenging. There are a lot of issues. You got to kind of manage cost and performance, and there are lots of tricks you can play just in terms of I was using GPT-5 the entire time. You do not need the full power of GPT-5 to count the number of words in an input. And so you can do things like trying to use cheaper alternatives.